Imagine a girl, barely 12, standing in the dim glow of a Virginia kitchen. Her shadow swallowed by the weight of a house that doesn't see her. This is Sadie Quillian, daughter of General Amos Quillian, a Marine Corps Titan whose name echoes through Pentagon halls. His medals gleam on the mantel. His voice commands dinner table briefings, but his eyes slide past Sadie to her brother, Elton, the anointed heir to a military dynasty. Tonight, Sadie's clutching a first-place math trophy, her fingers white-knuckled, hoping for a glance from her father. Instead, Amos slaps Elton's back for a B- in history, calling him the next General Quillian. Sadie's mother, Lila, brushes her hair later, whispering, "You're the fire, Sadie. They just haven't felt the heat yet." But when Lila's cancer steals her away months later, Sadie's world goes quiet. She's invisible now, a ghost in her own home, her brother's naval posters crowding the walls while her trophies gather dust. Yet, in that silence, Sadie finds a spark. She wakes before dawn, running through mist-soaked woods, her breath steady as she dodges roots and dreams. In the backyard, she teaches herself to shoot with a borrowed air rifle, tin cans toppling like her doubts. At 15, she finds Amos's old Marine manuals, their pages dog-eared from his glory days. She memorizes every drill, every tactic, her body hardening while her heart stays fierce. Elton's at Annapolis Prep, basking in their father's pride, but Sadie's out pacing him in secret, her resolve a blade sharpened by neglect. One night, under her bed, she finds a cryptic letter in Lila's handwriting. "Sadie, your strength is your secret. The Corps will call you, but only if you answer." It's a riddle, a lifeline, hinting at a destiny her father can't control. Her heart races. Does Lila's letter mean she was meant for something greater? Sadie tucks it away, her mother's words burning brighter than Amos's dismissal. By 17, she's stronger than Elton, faster, smarter, but still unseen. At a family dinner, Amos boasts of Elton's future while Sadie clears plates in silence. She applies to the Marine Military Academy without telling a soul. Her application a rebellion against invisibility. When the acceptance letter arrives, top percentile, full merit, she leaves it on Amos's desk. He tosses it aside, mistaking it for junk. Elton doesn't even look up. Sadie's jaw tightens, but her vow is silent. "If you won't see me now, you'll feel me later." She packs a single bag, steps onto the academy bus, and promises herself she'll become undeniable. But the letter's mystery lingers. Lila's words, "The Corps will call you," hint at a secret Sadie can't yet unravel. Was her mother part of something bigger, something hidden in the military's shadows? As the bus rumbles toward her future, Sadie clutches the letter, its edges worn from her touch. She's not just running toward a uniform. She's chasing a truth that could rewrite her place in a family that forgot her. The road ahead is uncertain, but Sadie Quillian is no longer just a daughter. She's a spark ready to ignite. Hey, if Sadie's story hits you like it does me, hit that like button, drop a comment about where you're watching from, and share this with someone who needs to hear about her fire. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. She's just getting started. The academy gates loom, but Sadie's first test isn't the obstacle course or the rifle range. It's a whispered warning from a recruiter. "Quillian's daughter? You'll need to be twice as good to escape his name." Sadie nods, her mother's letter tucked against her chest. She's ready to vanish into her own legend, but the letter's secret feels heavier now, like a mission she doesn't yet understand. As she steps into the academy's shadow, a figure watches from a distance. A stranger in civilian clothes, clutching a file marked, "Classified, Project Ember." Who are they? And what do they know about Sadie's destiny? The academy's brutal dawn breaks over Sadie Quillian, now 18. Her boots pounding Georgia clay as she outruns cadets twice her size. She's no longer just the invisible daughter of General Amos Quillian. She's Quillian, a name stripped to a single letter to dodge her father's towering shadow. Her mother's cryptic letter, tucked in her locker, burns in her mind. "The Corps will call you." It's a prophecy she's chasing, but the path is unforgiving. Sadie excels in covert tactics, her instincts razor-sharp in night drills, her shots dead center on the range. Instructors whisper her name with quiet respect, but no one knows the fire driving her. She graduates top of her class, unseen by her family, and signs her enlistment papers as S. Quillian, vanishing into the military's underbelly. Recruited into a classified unit, Sadie becomes a ghost operative in Project Ember, a black ops team that doesn't exist on paper. Her first mission drops her into the jungles of Venezuela, 2019. Mosquitoes swarm as she crawls through mud, tracking a rogue arms dealer. Her team's pinned down, bullets snapping branches overhead, but Sadie's voice, calm, steady, guides them to flank the enemy. They seize the target, no casualties, her name absent from the report. In Somalia, she scales a cliff under moonlight to disable a pirate radio network, her silhouette invisible against the stars. Each mission carves her deeper into the alias Ember, her raven tattoo, a single wing curled around a red ember, marking her as a myth among operatives. She saves lives, dismantles threats, but no one back home knows. Not Amos, not Elton, not the brother still chasing their father's approval at Annapolis. Her life is a rhythm of safe houses and encrypted briefings, her face blurred in mission logs. In 2021, she leads a raid in Yemen, extracting a CIA asset from a burning compound. She carries him 3 miles, her shoulder grazed by shrapnel, her breath steady despite the pain. "You're a ghost," her teammate mutters, awed, as she patches him up in a desert hideout. But ghosts don't bleed, and Sadie does. Silently, always silently. Her mother's letter, now frayed, stays with her, its words a tether. "Your strength is your secret." But secrets have a cost. In a dusty cobble safe house, she overhears a radio intercept. A traitor in Project Ember has leaked names to an enemy syndicate. Her alias S. Quillian is on the list. Her pulse spikes. If her identity surfaces, her missions, her team, her very existence could unravel. The betrayal cuts deeper than the shrapnel. Was it a teammate? A handler? Someone who knew her as Quillian's daughter? She burns the intercept transcript, her fingers trembling, but not from fear, from resolve. She can't trust anyone now, not even her own unit. Back at base, she hacks into an encrypted server, searching for the leak's source. A single file pings. Quillian S. Potential exposure. It's stamped with a Pentagon seal, and a name she knows too well. General Amos Quillian. Her father. Did he know she was Ember? Did he sell her out to protect his legacy? The question claws at her, but there's no time to dwell. A new mission looms in Syria, and Sadie's ordered to lead it alone. Her handler's voice crackles through her earpiece. "Ember, if you're compromised, there's no extraction." She nods to the dark, her mother's letter folded against her heart. If Sadie's fight to stay a shadow grips you like it does me, smash that like button, share this with someone who loves a story of grit, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to catch what happens when her cover cracks. As Sadie boards a chopper into the Syrian night, her rifle slung low, she feels the weight of her alias heavier than ever. The traitor's shadow looms, and her father's name haunts the file. If she survives this mission, she'll face a choice. Stay a ghost or confront the man who might have betrayed her. The chopper's blades roar, drowning out her thoughts, but not her fire. Somewhere in the dark, a figure watches her departure, clutching a dossier marked, "Ember, terminate." Who are they, and what do they want with Sadie? The Syrian mission still haunts Sadie Quillian. Her boots gritty with desert dust as she steps onto the Marine qualification range at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. It's 2023 and she's 28, her alias is Quillian, a shield against her father's legacy. General Amos Quillian, the Marine Corps legend who never acknowledged her. The air hums with gunpowder and bravado, a sea of broad-shouldered Marines lounging against ammo crates, their laughter sharp as shrapnel. They don't know her, don't know she's led Black Ops missions that saved hundreds, don't know she's the ghost called Ember. To them, she's just a woman in tactical gear out of place. Who's she? A captain sneers, his voice dripping with disdain. Amos stands at the range's edge, clipboard in hand. his silver hair catching the sun. He turns, eyes narrowing at Sadie. "Name," he barks, his tone cold as ever. "Quillian," she says, her voice steady but her chest tight. His jaw twitches. No recognition, just dismissal. "You don't belong here," a Marine commander in black fatigues chuckles, sparking laughter that rolls like gunfire. Sadie doesn't flinch. She walks to the weapon rack, her pulse steady, her mother's letter. "Your strength is your secret," echoing in her mind. Rows of rifles gleam. M16s, M27s, and at the end, a weathered M14, its walnut stock worn from battles she knows too well. She lifts it, the weight familiar as a heartbeat, silencing the chuckles for a split second. The Marines lean forward, skeptical but curious. She doesn't warm up, doesn't hesitate. Her fingers move like they did in Yemen, in Somalia, in the chaos of covert ops. She loads the magazine with precision, her stance unyielding, left foot forward, elbow locked, chin steady. The first shot cracks the air, dead center on a 500-yard target. The second splits a playing card taped to a stand, its halves fluttering like a warning. The third shatters a moving clay, and the fourth, an impossible ricochet, blasts a distant sensor no one's ever hit. Silence blankets the range, heavy and absolute. A Marine whispers, "She just broke Carver's record." Another gasps, "Who is she?" Sadie lowers the M14, resets the bolt, and sets it down without a word. Her sleeve shifts, revealing her raven tattoo, a single wing curled around a red ember, the mark of Project Ember. The symbol is classified, but its legend isn't. A young corporal freezes, his eyes locked on the ink. "No, it can't be," he mutters, recognizing the mark from whispered tales of a ghost operative. Amos's face pales, his clipboard trembling slightly. He doesn't know her as his daughter, but the tattoo stirs something. A classified briefing, a name he buried. Sadie meets his gaze for a moment, her eyes unyielding, then turns away, leaving stunned Marines and a father grappling with a ghost he can't place. The range's silence doesn't last. By dusk, whispers spread like wildfire. Quillian. Ember the tattoo. A corporal snaps a blurry photo of her, the raven ink glinting in the sun. It hits a military forum online, sparking threads. Is this the ghost of Project Ember? Sadie's alias is no longer just hers. It's a spark threatening to ignite her carefully guarded anonymity. Back in her barracks, she checks an encrypted burner phone. A message blinks. Lejeune footage leaked. Ember compromised. Watch your back. Her heart races. The traitor from her Yemen mission, the one tied to her father's name, is closing in. If her identity as Sadie Quillian surfaces, her missions, her team, her very existence could be erased. Not by Amos, but by the shadowy figure hunting her. If Sadie's stand on that range fired you up, hit that like button, share this with someone who loves a story of defiance, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if Sadie's cover survives the leak. As she slips the phone into her pocket, Sadie hears boots outside her door. Shadow pauses, then moves on. Friend or foe? The traitor's dossier from Syria mentioned Quillian and Ember in the same breath. Is Amos protecting his legacy or hiding something darker? Sadie grips her mother's letter, its words her only anchor as the walls close in. The air in Sadie Quillian's cramped barracks room feels heavier tonight, the weight of her leaked identity pressing against her ribs. That blurry photo from the Lejeune range, her raven tattoo glinting, is now viral on military forums. Hashtags like #EmberGhost and #Who'sQuillian spreading like wildfire. She's still Quillian to the world, but the traitor's message, Ember compromised, burns in her mind. Her mother's letter, tucked in her pocket, whispers, your strength is your secret, but secrets are slipping through her fingers. An invitation arrives, crisp and gold embossed, from the Naval Officer Training Command at Fort Bragg. They want Quillian, Strategic Operations Advisor, as keynote speaker for a Marine commissioning ceremony. No mention of Sadie, no hint they know she's General Amos Quillian's daughter. But the request feels like a trap, Did her father, whose name was tied to the Yemen leak, orchestrate this to expose her? Or is it her chance to finally step into the light? Sadie arrives at Fort Bragg in full dress uniform, silver captain's bars gleaming, her ribbons earned in shadows pinned tight. The Hall of Honors buzzes with 500 souls, cadets, generals, reporters, and 3 rows back Amos Quillian, his face unreadable, flanked by her brother Elton, now a lieutenant chasing their father's approval. Sadie's heart pounds, not from fear, but from the fire she's carried since she was 12. The MC's voice booms. "Please welcome S. Quillian." Gasps ripple as she steps to the podium, her boots striking the stage like a war drum. She scans the crowd, her gaze locking on Amos. His eyes narrow, still blind to his daughter. "Good afternoon," she begins, her voice low but lethal. "I am Sadie Quillian, daughter of General Amos Quillian." The room freezes, a reporter's pen clattering to the floor. "For 10 years I served as Ember, leading 19 classified missions. I saved lives in Yemen, Somalia, Venezuela. Missions you'll never read about because my father ensured my name was erased." Murmurs erupt, cameras flash, but Sadie's voice cuts through like a blade. "I submitted a Medal of Honor nomination as S. Quillian. It was denied by the man who raised me to believe I wasn't enough." Amos's knuckles whiten around his program, Elton's face flushing with shame. "This isn't about revenge," Sadie continues, her eyes sweeping the crowd. "It's about truth. About soldiers who fight without applause, daughters who rise despite denial." She turns to Cadet Mara Hensley, 21, trembling at attention. "Mara, your courage doesn't need a spotlight. You're already a hero." Sadie pins the Valor Award on her, saluting sharply. The room explodes in applause, a standing ovation that shakes the rafters. Amos doesn't clap, his jaw locked, but his eyes can't escape her now. As Sadie steps off the stage, a runner slips her a folded note. "Classified document leaked. Ember's Yemen op online. Pentagon notified." Her stomach drops. The document, detailing her near-fatal raid, names her as Sadie Quillian, proof of her valor, but also her exposure. Did the traitor leak it to discredit her? Or is someone else pulling strings? She glances at Amos, who's whispering to an aide, his face pale. Is he protecting his legacy or covering a deeper betrayal tied to Project Ember? The note burns in her hand, a ticking bomb that could unravel her fight for truth before it's won. If Sadie's speech lit a fire in you, smash that like button, share this with someone who needs her courage, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if that leaked document destroys her or sets her free. Sadie slips the note into her pocket, her mother's letter brushing her fingers like a quiet promise. The crowd's cheers fade as she exits, but outside, a journalist waits, holding a tablet with the leaked Yemen file. "Ms. Quillian, is this you?" he asks. Her silence is her only shield, but the traitor's shadow looms closer, and Amos's aide is watching from the shadows, a phone pressed to his ear. What's he reporting, and to whom? The Fort Bragg ceremony's echo still hums in Sadie Quillian's ears as she sits in her Alexandria apartment, the leaked Yemen document now viral across military forums. Her speech, naming herself as General Amos Quillian's daughter and the operative Ember, has ignited a firestorm. #Ember Unmasked Trends, and her raven tattoo is dissected online. But the leaked file, detailing her near-fatal raid to save a CIA asset, isn't just proof of her valor. It's a noose tightening around her. The note from the ceremony, Pentagon notified, hints at a traitor maybe tied to her father, who's unraveling her carefully guarded anonymity. Sadie's mother's letter, worn soft from years in her pocket, whispers, "Your strength is your secret, but secrets are crumbling." She opens her encrypted laptop, her fingers steady despite the storm brewing inside. She's done hiding. It's time to fight in the open. Sadie compiles a whistleblower dossier, a weapon forged from truth. It's 300 pages of mission logs, satellite imagery, and affidavits from operatives who saw her drag a wounded asset through Yemen's flames, her leg bleeding from shrapnel. She details 19 Black Ops missions, each a classified triumph buried by Amos to protect his legacy, or something darker. Her Medal of Honor nomination, denied by him, is the dossier's heart. She invokes a rare Defense Authorization Act provision, petitioning Congress's Special Review Committee to bypass Pentagon gatekeepers. Every word is a bullet, aimed not at revenge but at justice. She sends it to Senator Lena Carver, a Marine veteran known for championing overlooked soldiers. The encrypted submission vanishes into the void, and Sadie waits, her apartment's silence broken only by the hum of her laptop. Days later, a call comes from a congressional staffer. "Ms. Quillian, Senator Carver's read your file. She's calling a bipartisan inquiry." Sadie's breath catches, not from relief, but from the weight of what's begun. Carver requests a private briefing, and Sadie arrives in dress uniform, her ribbons gleaming under Capitol Hill's fluorescent lights. The senator's eyes are steel. "This isn't just about you," she says. "It's about a system that buries truth." Sadie lays it bare. Amos's interference, the Yemen leak, the traitor's shadow. She shares drone footage, her silhouette under fire saving lives, and a voice recording of her giving the green light in Somalia. Carver's brow furrows. "We'll push this forward, but you've got enemies." That night, Sadie finds a new message on her burner phone. "Drop the petition, Ember. You don't know who you're crossing." The sender's ID is blocked, but the signature reads Raven's End. Her pulse spikes. Raven's End, a code from Project Ember, used only by its highest handlers. Is it the traitor from Yemen or someone closer like Amos's aide who watched her at Bragg? The message hints at a deeper conspiracy, one her father might be tangled in or orchestrating. Sadie digs into old mission files, finding a buried report linking Raven's End to a Pentagon cover-up of a botched op she survived. If she pushes the inquiry, she risks exposing not just Amos but a network that could destroy her team. Yet retreating means letting her father erase her again. She meets Carver again, handing over the Raven's End message. "This is bigger than me," Sadie says. The senator nods. "Then we fight bigger." If Sadie's battle against the shadows has you hooked, smash that like button, share this with someone who loves a fight for truth, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if Sadie's dossier topples her enemies or traps her. As Sadie leaves Carver's office, a man in a dark coat lingers across the street. His face obscured, a file marked Ember in his hand. Her phone buzzes again. Last warning. Stop now or Ember burns. The traitor's closing in, and Amos's silence grows louder. Is he the puppet or the puppeteer? Sadie grips her mother's letter, its words her only shield as the storm gathers. The air in Sadie Quillian's Alexandria apartment crackles with tension, the congressional inquiry now a live wire humming through Capitol Hill. Her whistleblower dossier, exposing General Amos Quillian's sabotage of her Medal of Honor nomination, has Senator Lena Carver's committee digging into Pentagon cover-ups. The cryptic Raven's End message, "Stop now or Ember burns," haunts Sadie, its sender still a shadow. Is it her father, shielding his legacy, or a deeper player in Project Ember's secrets? Her mother's letter, its edges frayed, sits on her desk. Your strength is your secret. But secrets are unraveling, and Sadie's alias S. Quillian is no longer a shield. A new envelope arrives, stamped with the Pentagon's seal, summoning Captain S. Quillian to a Medal of Honor ceremony. It's no invitation. It's a battlefield, and Sadie knows the fight for her truth is far from won. The Pentagon's rotunda looms, packed with generals, senators, and press, their murmurs buzzing like static. Sadie steps through the marble hall in full dress uniform, her captain's bars glinting, her raven tattoo hidden beneath crisp sleeves. Her father, Amos, sits front row, his face a mask of steel beside her brother, Elton, whose lieutenant's coat looks too stiff like he's playing a role. The announcer's voice booms. Today, we honor Captain Sadie Quillian, the operative known as Ember, who saved countless lives in silence. Gasps ripple, cameras flash, and Amos's knuckles tighten on his chair. Sadie mounts the stage, her boots striking like a metronome of defiance. I am Sadie Quillian, she declares, her voice steady as a sniper's aim, daughter of General Amos Quillian, who denied me my entire life, first as a daughter, then as a soldier. The room holds its breath. I led 19 missions, she continues, from Yemen's flames to Somalia's cliffs, under the name S. Quillian. My Medal of Honor nomination was buried by my father to protect his legacy. Amos's eyes flicker, not with shame but with a glint of something darker, fear, guilt. This medal, Sadie says, lifting the velvet box, is for every soldier told to stay silent, every woman erased by those meant to lift them. She pins it to her chest herself, defying protocol, her hands unshaken. The crowd erupts, a standing ovation thundering through the rotunda. But a voice cuts through. Objection! A gray-haired colonel, face obscured in the back, holds up a file. Her missions lack public confirmation. This award is premature. Whispers surge, Raven's End. Sadie's pulse spikes, but she doesn't flinch. The colonel's file bears a familiar seal. Project Ember. Is he the traitor or Amos's proxy? Senator Carver steps forward, her voice sharp. The committee has verified her record. The award stands. The colonel retreats, but his glare lingers, a promise of retaliation. Sadie's eyes meet Amos's. He's still, his face pale, but for the first time he doesn't look through her. He sees her and it burns. Elton's head bows, his hands trembling. The ceremony ends, but the threat doesn't. Outside, Sadie finds a note slipped into her pocket. Ember, you won the medal, but Raven's End will bury you. Her mother's letter, still in her hand, feels heavier now. Its words a fragile anchor against a storm she can't yet name. If Sadie's stand for truth has you gripped, hit that like button, share this with someone who fights for justice, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if Sadie outruns Raven's End. As Sadie exits the rotunda, a reporter corners her, flashing the leaked Yemen file. Is Raven's End after you? He asks. She brushes past, but a black SUV idles nearby, its driver watching her. Amos's aide steps out, his phone glowing with a message. Is he Raven's End or just another pawn? Sadie's medal gleams, but the fight for her truth is just beginning. The Pentagon Rotunda's applause still echoes in Sadie Quillian's ears as she navigates the fallout of her Medal of Honor ceremony. Her speech, naming General Amos Quillian as the man who erased her, has sparked a firestorm. Hashtag Ember Unmasked dominates headlines, and her raven tattoo is a trending mystery. But the note in her pocket, Ember, you won the medal, but Raven's End will bury you, burns like a live wire. Is Raven's End her father, shielding his legacy, or a deeper shadow tied to Project Ember's secrets? Her mother's letter, its words, your strength is your secret, now faint from where, is her only anchor. The congressional inquiry, fueled by Sadie's dossier, has cracked the Pentagon's walls, and whispers of Amos's downfall swirl. Sadie's not celebrating, she's bracing for the storm. Within 48 hours, the news breaks. General Amos Quillian under investigation for obstructing military honors. The Pentagon raids his office, seizing emails and commendation logs that reveal he buried Sadie's Medal of Honor nomination, and others, to protect his pristine legacy. Military blogs call it a dynasty's collapse. His name now tied to scandal, not glory. Sadie watches from her Alexandria apartment, her new medal cold on the table. She doesn't revel in his fall. It's just another mission completed. But the Raven's End threat lingers, and a new clue surfaces. An old Project Ember file, uncovered in the raid, mentioning a family secret tied to her mother Lila. Did Lila know about Raven's End? Was her letter a warning? Sadie's digging is interrupted by a knock at dawn. It's Elton, her brother, standing outside her apartment. His lieutenant's uniform too crisp, his eyes hollow. He hasn't spoken to her in years, not since she left for the academy, unseen. Sadie, he starts, voice low. I didn't know it had come to this. She leans against the doorframe, her gaze steady. Come to what, Elton? The truth. He flinches, shifting on the concrete. Dad's been demoted. They've sidelined him to desk duty. No more command. His words are flat, like he's reciting a report, but his hands tremble. You didn't have to destroy him, he adds. Sadie's voice is calm, lethal. I didn't. He destroyed himself when he erased me. Elton's eyes dart away, then back. There's something you don't know, he says, his voice dropping to a whisper. Mom, she was part of Ember before you. Dad hid it. He buried her record, too. Sadie's breath catches, her mother's letter suddenly heavier in her pocket. Lila, an operative. The revelation shakes her, tying her to a legacy she never knew. Why tell me now, she asks. Elton hesitates. Because I found a file in Dad's office before they took it. It mentioned Raven's End and Mom. I think he's protecting something bigger than himself. He hands her a USB drive, its weight like a grenade. Be careful, Sadie. They're still watching. She shuts the door, her heart racing. The USB holds a single file, a grainy photo of Lila in tactical gear, a Raven tattoo on her arm, and a memo linking Raven's End to a failed Ember op that cost lives. Was Amos covering for his own mistakes, or shielding a traitor? Sadie's fight was never just about her. It's about her mother's erased truth, too. As she decrypts the file, her burner phone pings. Raven's End knows you have it. Run. Her apartment feels too small, the walls closing in. Amos's disgrace is public, but the real war is still hidden, and Sadie's standing in its crosshairs. If Sadie's unraveling legacy has you on edge, hit that like button, share this with someone who loves a twist, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if Sadie cracks the Raven's End secret. Sadie slips the USB into her pocket, her mother's letter brushing her fingers. Outside, a black SUV idles, its driver's face obscured. Is it Raven's End, or Amos's last move? She grabs her gear, ready to vanish again, but the truth about Lila changes everything. What did her mother know, and what cost will Sadie pay to find out? Sadie Quillion's apartment is a fortress of shadows, the USB drive from Elton burning a hole in her pocket. The file it holds, a grainy photo of her mother Lila in tactical gear, a Raven tattoo like Sadie's, and a memo tying her to Project Ember and the elusive Raven's End, has appended everything. General Amos Quillion, her father, is no longer just the man who erased her. He's a gatekeeper of secrets that buried her mother's legacy, too. The Pentagon's investigation has stripped him of command, but Raven's End's threat. They know you have it. Run. Keeps Sadie on edge. Her mother's letter, its words, your strength is your secret, now layered with new meaning, anchors her as she slips out of Alexandria, leaving her medal behind. She's done fighting for recognition. Now she's fighting for truth. Not just hers, but Lila's. Sadie retires quietly. No fanfare, no parade. Just a signature on discharge papers after 12 years of covert ops. The headlines, #Ember Unmasked. Quillion's daughter shakes Pentagon. Fade as she moves to Colorado's mountains, where pines whisper and the sky feels honest. Here, she opens the Lila Haven for veteran women, a sanctuary for soldiers like her. Overlooked, underestimated, erased. The center is no monument. It's a lifeline, offering tactical retraining, counseling, and a place to breathe without judgment. Sadie trains alongside the women, her boots muddy from dawn runs, her voice steady as she teaches them to aim true, not just with rifles but with their own worth. The Haven's walls hum with laughter, scars, and stories, each woman a mirror of Sadie's own fight. One evening, as Sadie locks the range, a figure steps from the dusk. A woman, mid-50s, her face weathered but sharp, a faint Raven tattoo peeking from her sleeve. You're Lila's girl, she says, voice low. I was her teammate. Name's Vera Klein. Sadie's pulse spikes. Vera, a ghost from Project Ember, hands her a faded journal, Lila's. Its pages detail a botched op in 1998, where Lila exposed a traitor, Raven's End, but was silenced by Amos to protect the core. Your mother wanted you to finish this, Vera says. Raven's End is still active, and they know you're digging. Sadie's fingers trace Lila's handwriting, her mother's truth alive in ink. But Vera's eyes dart to the trees. They're close, Sadie. Closer than you think. The revelation is a grenade, its pin half pulled. Was Amos Raven's end, or just its pawn? The journal hints at a network still buried in the Pentagon, and Sadie's haven might be its next target. She hides the journal in a safe, but sleep evades her. The women at the center, Mara, who earned the Valor Award, Elena, who's rebuilding her spine, don't know the danger circling. Sadie vows to protect them, but Vera's warning lingers. At dawn, she finds a note under the haven's door. Ember, Lila's truth dies with you. The handwriting matches the Raven's end messages. Sadie's not running anymore, but the fights come to her doorstep, and her mother's legacy is the key to ending it. If Sadie's haven and her mother's secret have you hooked, smash that like button. Share this with someone who loves a story of resilience, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see if Sadie faces Raven's end head-on. As Sadie tucks Lila's journal beside her mother's letter, a truck rumbles past the haven, its driver's face hidden in shadow. Is it Vera, watching her back, or Raven's end, ready to strike? The Colorado sky darkens, and Sadie knows the truth about her mother could save her, or destroy everything she's built. Her hand rests on the safe, her resolve unbroken, but the storm is here. The Colorado dusk wraps Sadie Quillian in a quiet embrace, the Lila Haven's training field bathed in amber light. Lila's journal, its pages revealing her mother's life as an Ember operative and her clash with the shadowy Raven's end, sits locked in the safe beside her mother's letter. Your strength is your secret. The note under the haven's door. Ember, Lila's truth dies with you, is a blade at Sadie's throat, hinting Raven's end is closer than ever. Vera Klein's visit, her mother's teammate, has tied Sadie's fight to a legacy she never knew, but the threat looms over the haven, where women like Mara and Elena rebuild their lives. Sadie's retired from the Corps, her Medal of Honor a quiet weight, but the war for truth isn't over. Tonight, under a starlit sky, she sits on a ridge overlooking the haven, an old M14 rifle in her lap, not to shoot but to clean for a display case. Its familiar heft grounds her, a reminder of battles won and scars earned. Sadie's journey flashes through her mind. The invisible girl in Virginia, erased by General Amos Quillian, the ghost operative Ember, saving lives in Yemen's flames, the Marine range where she shattered records, the Pentagon stage where she claimed her name. Each step was a fight to be seen, not for glory, but for herself. Lila's journal revealed Amos didn't just bury Sadie's record. He silenced Lila's too, to hide a failed Ember op tied to Raven's end. Forgiveness wasn't easy. Sadie spent years hating Amos, his cold dismissal, his praise for Elton while she faded. But hate was a chain, binding her to his shadow. I forgave him, she whispers to the stars. Not for him, but for me. Forgiveness wasn't surrender. It was freedom, letting her build the haven, a place where women like her could heal without applause. The haven's laughter drifts up, Mara leading a night drill, Elena's voice strong for the first time. Sadie smiles, her raven tattoo catching the moonlight. She's no longer Quillian, no longer Ember, just Sadie, whole and unapologetic. But the journal's truth nags. Raven's End is still out there, and Lila's last entry hinted at a name. A Pentagon official, still active, who buried the op to save their career. Is it Amos or someone higher? As Sadie polishes the M14, a rustle in the pines snaps her alert. A figure steps forward. Not Vera, but a man, his face half-lit, holding an envelope. Sadie Quillian, he says, voice low. From your father. Her heart skips. Amos, demoted and silent, hasn't spoken since the Pentagon. The envelope is heavy, sealed with a Marine crest. Read it alone, the man warns, vanishing into the dark. Is it an apology, a confession, or Raven's End's final trap? Sadie doesn't open it, not yet. She tucks it beside Lila's letter, her mother's words louder than Amos's silence. Her story, now viral as #EmberUnmasked, has sparked a movement. veterans sharing their erased truths, a congressional subcommittee probing buried honors. Sadie's not a myth anymore. She's a beacon. You are what you fight for when no one's clapping, she murmurs, her breath misting in the cold. The haven is her legacy, not Amos's. Whatever the envelope holds, it won't define her. She's free not because they saw her, but because she saw herself. If Sadie's freedom moves you, smash that like button, share this with someone who needs her light, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to see what's in that letter. The stars gleam as Sadie stands, the M14 ready for its case. The envelope waits, a final question mark. Below, the haven glows, a testament to her mother's strength and her own. She's not running anymore. Whatever Raven's End or Amos holds, Sadie Quillian is ready. Her truth sharper than any rifle, her peace stronger than any storm. The Colorado sky stretches wide. Its stars a quiet witness to Sadie Quillian's journey. From a girl erased by her father's shadow to a woman who carved her name into history, she's no longer the ghost of Ember. The Lila Haven stands below, its lights warm, where women rebuild what the world tried to break. Sadie's Medal of Honor rests in a simple box, not on display but close to her heart, a reminder that truth doesn't need a spotlight to shine. Lila's journal and her mother's letter. Your strength is your secret, are her true medals, proof that legacies aren't inherited, they're built. The envelope from Amos sits unopened, its weight a choice, not a chain. Sadie's forgiveness freed her to live without proving anything to anyone. She trains with the women daily, their laughter her new mission, their strength her victory. Under these stars she's just Sadie, seen, whole and enough. Her story isn't just hers. It's for anyone told they don't belong. You are not your silence, she'd say. You are your fight. If Sadie's story touched you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and comment below. Where are you watching from? Subscribe to join our community of truth seekers and storytellers. Let's keep lifting voices that deserve to be heard. Until next time, stay strong, stay true.